Okay, guys, as you can tell from the title, I got some explaining to do. So, I didn't really know how or when I was going to tell everybody this. So, as you guys know, I think the last check-in that we did was however many weeks ago at this point. But we checked in, we didn't lose any body fat, and it was like upsetting. But in that video, I explained to you guys, like, I was so happy that my body was finally responding after it seemingly stalling for such a long period of time. And I don't want y'all to think that because of that check-in, this is why I've made this decision. This is something that I've been thinking about for a really long time, and I just needed like confirmation that this was the right move for me to go. So I am not going to be competing this year. So that show, which was 17, that was the last pro show that I could potentially compete in for this season. Vision, not right now. Get down, get down. My thought process behind that is either I would have to go balls to the wall from here until that point and destroy my body, destroy my health, my metabolism, to only potentially be lean enough to compete in that show, or wait and maintain a lean physique and then compete at the beginning of the season next year, because the season starts again in like February, which is really like not that long. So I talked to my coach about it after the check-in on Thursday, and I just messaged him because this is something I've been thinking about for a couple of weeks, because we're just kept running out of time. And like I told you, I didn't want to step on stage unless I knew that I was 100% ready. And I knew that if I pushed it to that level for those 4 weeks, that there's a chance that I wasn't going to be ready. I had to still lose a significant amount of body fat, a significant amount of weight, and bodybuilding is a long-term goal, and I wouldn't want to risk my health in that short amount of time in order to do a show just because I said I was going to do a show. There was a lot of things that I talked to my coach about, and then I talked to Zach about how I was feeling about it. Obviously, I don't feel this way anymore, but my thoughts were fearful that I was letting you guys down. I was feeling like I was a failure. I felt like I was letting my parents down. My parents are so excited about me competing that they always want to know like when I'm going, because they want to be there to support me. And I had the conversation with my mom on the phone like a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, Julia, literally, if you didn't do anything at all, we wouldn't care. We would still be proud of you, and we'd still support you no matter what. So that's just proof that like all of this stuff that I'm saying, I'm making it up. If anything, it's the person that I feel like I'm failing is myself. Obviously, I don't feel that way anymore, but in that moment, when you told everyone that you're gonna do this one thing and then you decide to not do it, it's like, so hard. But honestly, if I would have made this decision a couple years ago, when I first started competing, it would have absolutely crushed me, and I probably would have just said, you know what? I don't care, we're gonna risk my health and we're gonna go as fast as we can to that goal date, and I would have made it work no matter what the cost was. But now the cost isn't worth it to me. Long-term success is way more important to me, and honestly, I haven't felt this much peace about a decision bodybuilding wise in a really long time. Like once I made the decision, it was like a whole lot of weight had been lifted off of my chest, and I knew that it was right. And that's the thing, is when your intuition is telling you to do something, typically when you make the decision that's right for you, you feel like, like so much relief. So I'm gonna pop up some footage of me messaging my coach and what our decision was. And then I'm going to pop up some footage of my coach's response and what his idea was going to be for like the next season going forward, because bodybuilding is a year-round sport, and the thing that I need to do is maintain the physique that I have now, or potentially leaner than this year-round. That's just what I have to do. Hey coach, so I just got your check-in. I figured sending a voice memo would just be easier. So I'm thinking what the best route would be is to continue these next 4 weeks as if I'm preparing for a show, so we can really utilize this time because my body has been responding and it took so long too. So I'm thinking about using this time to do that and release the pressure of having to do a show, because I don't want to go on stage not being ready or looking worse than I did last year. These wellness girls are super shredded and I know that I need to be there. So that's what I'm thinking we do, and then after that go into a strict reverse, and then potentially do shows early in the year. I'm just thinking about what would the plan be for early next year. Would I start competing in like a ring of shows, 3 to 4 of them, like early in the season when the season starts? I know that's thinking a little bit far ahead, but that's typically what I do. So let me know what you think about that.
Hey, good morning, Julia. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great week so far. Just went through everything here. I'm going to go over a few things with you. I'm actually very happy to see how everything is looking. Your physique is really, coming together week over week at this point. We're seeing you get sharper. I'm seeing, more hardness. Your lines are coming through. I do think we're in a good spot, but I do absolutely understand your concern and, your reservations with, looking at, if you're looking at things from like a weight perspective as well. Here's the thing. You've definitely put on muscle tissue in the past year, right? So by looking at that, we'd have to say, we've definitely put on muscle. So muscle is weight. So I don't think you're going to be, you wouldn't need to lose quite as much as you think you do. But in a 4-week time frame, how much is realistic? I also don't want you, to go on stage at less than your best. So I do understand, where you're coming from there. My thought is we are indeed making such good progress here that I don't necessarily want to derail that. And how how much I don't like very long preps, because I don't like what they do to the body for most people. But I suppose what I would look to do would be continue as if we were doing the contest and run this for the 4 more weeks that it is. And doing that, but you could take the pressure off of the contest. If you've made a decision like, listen, like I said, you already think like, listen, I'm not going to reach my potential in this time frame. So what I'd like to do is keep the momentum though. And, you just have take away the pressure of worrying about being ready, but just continue, to be locked in here. We move forward with that goal and just get as tight as we essentially can in the time frame. And then from there, do a very nice slow reverse, because ultimately, like where you're at right now, this would be fantastic for us to be able to hold this long term.
So what the plan is going forward is that I'm still going to be cutting, and I'm going to act like I am competing on stage on that date, which is 11, 17, 18. You guys are seeing videos a week after because we film a week early. But I'm going to still cut. We're not going to push any harder with cardio. We're not going to push any harder with diet, because the diet that I've been on has been working. I'm still consistently losing weight, but we're not going to push it to that point where we increase cardio to like 2 hours or anything like, or an hour and a half. We're not going to do that because we're not going to get show ready lean. But coach was saying to me, he's like, your physique is like finally shaping up. It's looking so good. And I wouldn't want to stop that progress going forward, but I totally respect your decision and wanting to compete next year. And all he cares about is just my health and what's best for me going forward, which is amazing. So I'm still gonna be taking you guys through this series until we start a reverse. So I'm not sure exactly when that is. Ideally, I'd like to get to maybe like 145 before I start my reverse, because the leaner that I am starting my reverse, the easier it's going to be for me to cut down. Then I don't have to cut down from like 34% body fat. I can cut down from like 15 or 17, and I don't have to have such a long and stressful prep. And I just did this, I did this to myself. There's no one else to blame but myself. I need to be better in my off season at staying on track and not putting on so much body fat and sticking to my training protocol and everything like that. So that's the goal going forward, is that I'm gonna cut still with everything that we're doing. I'm not gonna make anything more intense than it already is, because I'm feeling great and we're losing weight. We're seeing progress. My physique is looking better and better each day, and we just wanna keep rolling with this. So I'm gonna do that until maybe like the end of the year, and then start reversing into January. Because you guys know I've gotten more calories in my program and we're still losing weight, which is something that never has happened to me, which is so great. So I'm not feeling super crazy depleted or anything. If anything, the fatigue that I'm feeling is from like the cardio and the training, but I still love doing all of that stuff. So that's my plan going forward. And I feel really confident, really good about this decision, because I just know that just because things haven't gone as planned, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. This decision right now, even though it's not ideal, it's not what I planned, it's not what you guys planned, my coach planned, I know that by doing this, I'm setting myself up for success to come back even better when the season starts again in February, so that when I step on stage, there is no denying that I am not lean enough, that I didn't work hard, none of that stuff. That I put everything that I had on the table and I set myself up for success now for the future. So that's what we're gonna do. Coach wants to do like 3 shows and pick out 3 shows at the beginning of the season next year that we can just like hit bam, 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 so we can qualify for the Olympia early, and then literally reverse into the Olympia so that we can just like coast into it, which is a way better decision than like pushing it and destroying my body, my mental health this year to potentially not compete in a show. So that's the plan going forward. What else? I feel like there's stuff that I'm missing. So really, I'm just sticking with the meal plan that I have. I'm still gonna take you guys on this journey, and we're not gonna start another series until I go through my reverse. And then when we do that, I'm gonna take you through my reverse and like how that works and everything, because I know there's a lot of people that are aspiring competitors, have competed or want to compete, and they have struggles during that time, and so do I. That's usually the hardest part for me, is when I'm not in competition prep and I have more flexibility with food, learning how to make it a lifestyle instead of having everything dedicated to this one sport, and then when you don't have it, you don't know what to do. So I think me taking you guys through that journey and how I'm feeling is gonna be really helpful, not only for me to hold me accountable, but for anybody else that has struggled with that in the past. So that's what we're doing. We have a lot of amazing videos coming up because Ian and I are leaving next week for the Olympia, and I'm not even gonna tell you guys about what's gonna happen there, but we're gonna go see the Olympia. We have some really incredible videos that are coming up. So yeah, I'm gonna still stay on track while we go there. We're gonna bring all our meals with me. Ian and I are literally planning the meals that we're gonna bring right now, right before this video. So I feel really good about this decision. Even though it was difficult, I felt so much relief. Am I missing anything?
Don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. We hit 100K a couple weeks ago, and it's just so crazy. I can't believe this. I'm so pumped, and honestly, I got exactly what I wanted out of this season. And like I said at the beginning of this journey, is that it wasn't, the reason that I do this isn't to compete in shows or to win, it's for the journey. And I've learned so much during this 6 months, more than any other prep before. And I feel so much peace about this decision, which in the past I would not have been. I would have been upset, I would have been angry, I would have wanted it to go my way. And that's the biggest lesson that I've learned about this season, is that there's so much power in releasing control. Obviously, it's amazing to feel like you're going after your goals and you're achieving things and you have this like tight grip on life where you're like, I'm in charge, I decide, but that's cool. But also there's power in releasing control when necessary. And this is one of those moments because I know that because I'm making this smart decision now based off of what I know to be right for me, that I'm going to be rewarded later in the future for my efforts. And I can't wait for that. So we're still on this journey together, guys. Still updating you guys on everything. And I love you all so much. And you're more powerful than you think. Bye.